Hello everyone. I know that this video might be a bit strange, but still, I think many of you had a thought like, damn, I can't wait to fight this particular boss, so I'll quickly speedrun towards him. And while replaying Bloodborne, I also had a similar thought, and I decided to make a video in which I will talk about the first interesting boss fight in each Souls game, because well, why not? Okay, let's start with Demon Souls. Well, when it comes to Demon Souls, I think no one will deny that every single boss before Penetrator is either beyond annoying or absolutely uninteresting joke. Like, who are other bosses that can offer you, well, something interesting? Tower Knight, a boss who you have to hit in ankles over and over, fall him down, and kill him by mashing his head over and over, while clearing archers over and over. Maybe Maniters, a boss who is your average shitty excuse of a Souls duo boss, who throws you from this damn tiny bridge over and over. Maybe Old Hero, a blind dude who you hit once or twice, run away, watch how he's fighting his inner demons, and repeat this over and over until he dies. Or maybe Flame Lurker, a boss who is nearly impossible to fight without a firefighter shield. So I ironically think that the first good boss in Demon Souls is the second to last boss. There are multiple reasons about why I think like that. First of all, he's not a dumb gimmick boss, against whom you have to find this magical G-spot and abuse it. He is not a dumb boss who just non-stop spams you with his AoE damage. He is not a pushover who dies faster than he can do anything. He is just a normal dude in armor with big ass sword who just fights you. For this game's standards, he is decently fast and somewhat aggressive, and also he is, well, somewhat challenging for this game's standards, of course. Plus, despite the fact that he literally spams one move over and over, I would say that compared to previous bosses, he is somewhat fun and interesting, because there is no hidden magical mirror that you need to find in order to kill him. You don't need to find his very obvious weak spot and abuse it. You just fight a decently tanky dude in armor who just wants to whoop the shit out of you. So yeah, because he's not a dumb gimmick boss or pathetic punching bag who can backshot to death or straight up retarded boss, I'll put second to last boss on this list. Dark Souls 1. Well, as controversial as it might sound, I will ironically say that gameplay wise, Artorias is the first interesting boss of Dark Souls 1. And no, I'm not joking at all. Yes, I know that he is endgame DLC boss, but here's the thing. What other choice do I have? Bell Gargoyles, who just non-stop spam you with fire breath until you kill either of them. Maybe Quelag, who literally can't hit you if you stay next to her armpit. Or maybe Ornstein Smoke, the most overrated boss of Dark Souls 1, which without nostalgia and a huge shield is a near infinity pillar hack simulator in the hopes that you will kill Faten before they gangbang you. Nearly all main game bosses are either garbage, like straight up garbage, or at best are pushovers who literally have 3 at best move, which they spam you over and over, or they die before they can do, well, anything against you. So I think that adding Artorias on this list is more than reasonable. Artorias by Dark Souls 1 boss standard is very fast and aggressive. He has a somewhat interesting diverse moveset and not just he is a very mobile dude and not just I'm gonna hit you, oh no, you run away, darn it, will get you next time. Artorias, just like Penetrator, is a simple knight with biggest sword. There is no gimmick, no some hidden mind tricks, there is no hidden magical item which allows you to fight him properly. He's a regular boss against whom you actively have to fight and not just mash R1 button on a pathetic and helpless excuse of a boss bosses. Now Dark Souls 2. Well, I want to joke about Dark Lurker, because if you try hard enough, he can be your tutorial boss. But then I thought that picking a boss from a regular playthrough is more fair than picking ultra late game boss who after insane tryharding can be your tutorial boss. In Land I had two main choices, Pursuer or Smelter Demon. But then I thought that even though I kinda like Pursuer and he in my opinion is decent, he has the same combo that he spams over and over. So I think that picking Smelter Demon is a more right choice. Even though by 2025 standards he has extremely castrated and simple moveset compared to someone like Mesmer, by pre-Bloodborne boss standard he is very decent. He has a small combo, delay hit, super delay hit, quick step if you decide to heal in mid-fight, AoE damage based on how close are you next to him, long range of flame, and he has unique feature that in theory makes this fight a bit interesting. In his second phase, he will have far AoE damage, which will do damage to you if you just stay next to him, which means that you need to finish this fight as fast as you can, otherwise he will kill you, simply because he constantly does damage to you. Yeah, we can say something about life gems, which completely ruin the idea behind this boss, but this is a topic for another video. But in two words, even though by 2025 game standards he is a very simple boss, by pre-Bloodborne boss standard he is decently fun and interesting boss with okay moveset, who can be both challenging and fun in some way. Once again, same thing can be said about Pursuer, but I still believe that fun bosses in Dark Souls 2 start from Smelter Demon. Bloodborne. Oi kurva, where should I even begin with? Even though moveset wise most Bloodborne bosses objectively speaking have more moves compared to Dark Souls 2 and especially Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls bosses, there is a huge and undeniable problem about that. Nearly all bosses of Bloodborne are straight up pushovers who, no joke, you can stagger to death and they just physically won't be able to do anything against you. Or they are straight up disgusting or annoying pieces of shit who you just don't want to fight at all. Some Bloodborne players might say, for example, Cleric Beast and especially Father Gascoigne are solid bosses. Well, not really. Cleric Beast is completely helpless, uninteresting, and castrated version of Phase 1 Lawrence. While with Father Gascoigne I have my own issues. First of all, he is stupidly easy. In Phase 1 and 2 he has many charge hits, and if you shot him during his charge, you can just parry him. He is the easiest parryable humanoid boss in this game, and even if you just randomly start shooting at him, you can either cancel his hit or straight up poise break and riposte him. His phase 3 is straight up a piece of shit. Okay, I'm sorry Gascoigne fanboys, but his phase 3 can go fuck himself. A boss who can be parried, that non-stop spams you over and over in a location that is full of these stupid graveyards in which you are stuck nearly 24/7 can go fuck himself. Like, imagine fighting phase 2 Orphan, but in Capra Demon's boss arena. Yeah, that's how this boss fight feels like. So I ironically think that the first interesting boss of Bloodborne, who isn't a pushover or annoying piece of shit, is Logarius. Logarius by a Bloodborne boss standard is a very unique boss. In this game all humanoid bosses, well most of them, are just regular hunters with guns and weapons, but Logarius is not a hunter, he is a hybrid mage. In phase 1 he is playing more like a passive caster with some variety of bloody magic, and he rarely goes for a melee combo, but in phase 2 he becomes much more aggressive. He gets some new moves, his magic gets a bit adjusted, and he gets a move in which he puts his sword on the ground, and just like Gilgamesh, he starts throwing swords at you over and over until you break the sword with one regular hit or with 2 gunshots. And yes, despite the fact he can be parried or backstabbed after some of his hits, he is decently challenging boss. more than that, I think that after German, he's the hardest main game boss of Bloodborne. And because of that, I think that he should be on this list, because he doesn't get staggered to death by just mashing R1 button on him over and over, and because he doesn't die before he can show at least third of his moveset. And now probably the funniest part of this video, Dark Souls 3. Honestly, this was one of the main inspiration for making this video. Dark Souls 3 was my very first Souls game that I have ever played, and while playing it, I didn't quite understood why people like this game. Bosses were either absolutely easy pushovers who couldn't even do damage to me properly, or were meh at very best. I was extremely disappointed by this game's bosses, and I honestly had more fun by just running around like a moron while fighting bosses, because each of them were either annoying or very disappointing. But then I fought them. Yeah, I truly believe that Dark Souls 3 until Abyss Watchers is very boring, or meh at the very best bosses wise. Even though on my first playthrough I used Summon, and even though I killed this boss on my first try, I enjoyed every second of it. This boss has interesting idea behind the fight. Abyss Watchers, who once fought Abyss as one, now are corrupted by it, and now they kill each other for eternity, because they swore to destroy Abyss no matter what. And because of that, despite the fact in phase 1 there are 3 Abyss Watchers, they don't just gangbang on you. They either gangbang you, of course, or they fight each other, which makes this boss fight a bit more interesting and memorable. This boss in phase 2 is pretty fast and decently aggressive. He has interesting and fun moveset, cool anime effects, amazing cutscene, especially in phase 2, and of course music. I honestly think that Abyss Watchers have one of the, if not the best musical theme in Dark Souls 3. Abyss Watchers were the first boss who made me realize why people like Souls bosses, and because of that I will add them on this list. Sekiro. Well, in Sekiro I had two main choices, either Butterfly or Genichiro. Why not Oniwa? Well, he's more annoying than interesting and fun. Plus, he's a very dumb boss, against whom you can just stay still, do absolutely nothing, wait until he comes and just hit him for free over and over. Even though many people might not agree with me, I think that Butterfly also is a bit dumb boss. Like, you can just abuse R1 button, deflect once, then use R1 3 or 4 times in a row, and repeat this process until she dies. Yeah, she is still fun boss, but personally, I think that Genichiro is the first interesting boss of Sekiro. Yeah, you can also either use a flask and abuse his dumb IE, or during his combo, just jump backwards and watch how he's fighting his inner demons. But despite that, I think that he still is a very interesting and fun boss. There are a few reasons for that. First of all, this fight is personal for Sekiro, because he stole our Pocket's God's child, and because he removed Sekiro's right arm, which he desperately needed for shinobi purposes. Genichiro, for an early game boss, has a very interesting moveset. He has 3 phases, in which he slightly adjusts his moveset over and over. He doesn't have a hide and fuck you buddy button. He is decently fast and aggressive boss. He gives you a reasonable amount of time on healing, and yeah, in phase 3 he has a lighting move, which does insane amount of damage to you, but you can reflect it backwards to him and do a high amount of damage to his health and posture bar. Yeah, on your first playthrough you will fail to use lighting deflect a few times, but still, even though you can say that Lady Butterfly is a decent and fun boss, I think of the same way in Dark Souls 2 fun bosses started with Smelter Demon in Sekiro. I I think that fun bosses start with budget Sasuke. And finally, Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring is a huge ass open world, and your first boss can be almost anyone, but just like in Dark Souls 2, let's take a regular human's playthrough, and not a nerd's playthrough. I think I won't surprise absolutely no one. It's a Margit level Omen. Yeah, this boss has a massive problem such as either you are over level and devour him alive, or you are way too under level and you barely do any damage to this dude, while he just two-shots you over and over. Yeah, he has this problem which is undeniable, but it's mainly because of this game's shitty ass open world. But as a whole, Margit is a very fun boss with interesting moveset, especially for an early game boss. If we say realistically how it is, Margit is the very first real boss of this game, and not basic mobile HP bar and musical theme. Margit has a decent moveset in which he has some wombo combo, 2 weapon, delay hit, super delay hit, magical projectiles, backflip, gap closer, quick combo and other stuff. And most importantly, unlike some Remembrance bosses, he doesn't really has a hidden fuck you body from the other side of the map one-shot anime nuke. So yeah, even though Margit can be a bit pain in the ass, especially on your first playthrough, I still think that Elden Ring boss's quality starts from Margit, because he is fun, interesting and fair boss if you, well, are not way too over level or way too under level for him. Well, that's pretty much all I want to say. Type what you think about my video. If you like it, press something under it. With this, I'll say bye bye to you and I will see you next time.